Welcome back to our Blue Z Water channel. Today I'd like to talk a little bit more about the endocrine gland system and some key supplements that really can help in rebalancing adrenal issues, thyroid issues, and the overall endocrine gland system. We've done videos on Dr. David Brownstein's iodine regimen and the importance of detoxifying the toxic bromine, chlorine, and fluorine and environmental toxins from the body in order to get iodine reestablished in the thyroid and eliminate these competing halides. So detox is a very critical step in all health issues, taking the burden off the body to allow it to function better. And the Blue Z Water is excellent at detoxifying the body and also reestablishing very critical trace minerals. So today I'd like to discuss something called glandulars. These are animal extracts from the glands of animals, healthy animals, and the source needs to be 100% natural, free of pesticides, free of hormones. So if you do the research, all of the companies that are buying these high-end glandular products are sourcing them from New Zealand. We'll post some links below to a few sources and you can do your research. But one of the things that prevented me from going down the route of taking natural Armorol and thyroid supplements was I did not know the sourcing, and I did not want to buy drugs or so-called extracts, drug extracts from animal sources that I did not know. So I discovered these glandulars, and they're all, like I said, sourcing from New Zealand. So what are glandulars? So glandulars in a nutshell are literally, if you have thyroid issues, you're taking the extract of an animal's thyroid. And basically, what's the animal glandular system, the proteins, the enzymes, et cetera, are 97% compatible with the human thyroid, for instance, or the human adrenals. So animals are very, very close to our system in terms of compatibility. So essentially, you're feeding your endocrine gland system. In a nutshell, this is a food-based approach, but you're taking the concentrate of the specific glandular that you feel you might be deficient in. So once you've done the basic legwork of detoxifying the body, getting that iodine back into the body, if your thyroid gland, for example, or your adrenals are not functioning properly, then the next step is this, and by the way, this is a step you could do along the way no matter what, but particularly if you've been down on thyroid function for a long time, typically you're going to need to jumpstart the thyroid. And these glandules are very powerful at getting the thyroid jumps back in order after many, many years. Personally, my thyroid function probably, and this is due to my family history, I'm believing now, looking at the symptoms, was compromised back even in my 20s. So again, I grew up in New York where they had chlorine and fluorine in the water, or I was eating a bunch of white flour, which is brominated bromine. So I grew up on pretty much a thyroid disaster diet, and that didn't help either, plus the genetic tendencies. So those with you with low thyroid, these are the steps. Number one, detoxify the body, use Blue Z Water to pull out all those environmental toxins, the halides, the bromine, chlorine, and fluorine. Number two, take iodine to start feeding the thyroid. It's critical for the thyroid. And number three, particularly if you've been challenged for a long time, start taking these glandulars. Now, there's a key point here, and this is going back to what we talk about in our tips and tools for a holistic program, a very critical piece. What do you take? How do you know what to take? Do you take thyroid? Do you take hypothalamus? Do you take pituitary, which all contribute to these are the master switches, the hypothalamus, the pituitary is the master gland for the adrenal system. What do you take? How much is the adrenal contributing to the thyroid? The adrenals are very fundamental to the entire endocrine gland system. So is the hypothalamus, so is the pituitary. How do you know what to take? So once again, we're going to talk about learning to self-check your body in real time. We encourage every one of you to try to learn how to use a pendulum. Simply put, and look at our video on how to use a pendulum, you're really asking the intelligence of your body. You're tuning in to the deeper energetic intelligence of your body using the heart chakra and essentially asking the body moment to moment, what does it need right now? Now that sounds simple, and this is going to go against the wisdom of many, many practitioners who want to put you on a prescribed regimen. The body just doesn't work like a robot. Literally, day to day, week to week, month to month, what you might need to feed your endocrine gland system can change. So 1 week you might need more pituitary regulation, then you might need more, just straight out thyroid. You can't just give it all to the body. You can, but you might overstimulate certain let's say overstimulate the pituitary or overstimulate the thyroid. You have to ask the body really what system right now needs to be fed. So we encourage you to please learn how to use a pendulum. And there are many, many videos online teaching you how, but I'll say one important thing. When you're using a pendulum and you're establishing the swing of a pendulum, yes and no, put your hand over your heart chakra, tune into the rhythm, the energetics of the heart. You could also look up something called heart math if you're scientifically based. They have a huge amount of research based on the intelligence of the heart. So this is a real field of energy that knows what you need. It's the heart intelligence. Once you start resonating with that rhythm and that electromagnetic field of the heart, you'll start to get, this is good for me, this is not good for me. Otherwise, you're going on intellect, theory, concepts, and as much as you might know, for instance, or even blood work. Let's say you take blood work. Well, the blood work doesn't really tell you the intricacies of what's feeding what's interacting with what. There's no way you're going to get blood work that does that. It might tell you you have a problem with your thyroid, but it doesn't know what gland to tonify. So, very important to do that work. So, once again, we'll give you links below for glandulars. We'll give you a link to our pendulum video. You can also look at many other pendulum videos online. And glandulars are quite inexpensive at VitaCost. You can buy them a whole bunch of them. And we'll, if you contact me, this is worth a consult, people. It really is. We can tell you how to go about what to purchase, kind of purchase a group of glandulars so you can test them all. We'll work with you on pendulum, how to use a pendulum. If you have a partner or somebody in the household who's willing to work with you, we can teach you how to muscle test. But that means you're going to have them available at all times. So, thank you. Any questions, please contact me, Andrew at blueseawater.com. Take care.